It was a bleak winter evening, and the cold was biting to the bone. The solitary street lamp in the alley flickered, its yellow light glinting on the rain-soaked road. This old street in Lahore, with all its decay, was wrapped in an eerie silence. This silence was occasionally broken by the distant sound of a car or the bark of a dog. This was the same alley where Ahmed's small house stood. This two-room dwelling was the entire world for Ahmed and his family. Ahmed worked as a laborer in a small factory, and his meager salary barely covered their expenses. His wife, Sarah, earned some money by doing sewing and embroidery, but the monster of inflation was so dominant that their hands were empty by the end of every month. They had two children, 8-year-old Fatima and 6-year-old Ali. Both children seemed wiser than their years. Perhaps poverty had made them grow up too soon. Today, Ahmed returned late from the factory. Deep shadows of exhaustion and worry clouded his face. Sarah immediately put a pot of water on the stove and began making tea for him. "What happened? Why are you so late today?" Sarah asked softly. Ahmed placed his bag aside and sat on the old cot. "What else could happen? Work at the factory has decreased even more. The owner says many more laborers will be laid off." His voice was filled with despair. Sarah's heart sank. "Laid off? Then what will happen to us? House rent, children's school fees." Her eyes welled up with tears. Ahmed took a deep breath. "That's why I'm worried. I don't know what will happen. God is the master." Dinner was simple, lentils and bread. The children ate silently. They, too, had sensed their parents' worry. Fatima gave a little more lentil to her younger brother, Ali, as if comforting him. The next day, what they feared happened. Ahmed was laid off from the factory. That day was the hardest day of his life. When he returned home and told Sarah the news, they stared at each other for a while. Helplessness and the fear of coming days were clearly visible in their eyes. The next few days, Ahmed spent searching for work. Every morning he would leave with a new ray of hope, and every evening he would return immersed in the darkness of despair. Everywhere in the city, the doors of employment seemed closed. Sarah had increased her sewing work, but how could she alone bear the burden of such a large household? One day, it was the deadline for Fatima's school fees. Fatima sat sadly, afraid she wouldn't be able to go to school. Sarah had only a few hundred rupees, which were insufficient for the fees. Ahmed turned his pockets inside out, but not a single rupee came out. "Fatima, dear, today your mother will talk to your teacher to get you a few more days." Ahmed comforted his daughter, but his heart was weeping tears of blood. Sarah went to school, but the teacher clearly stated that Fatima would not be allowed admission without the fees. Sarah returned home crying. Hearing this, Fatima shrank into her small world, and Ali also fell silent, seeing his sister's sadness. That night, Ahmed couldn't sleep. He felt as if he had lost his masculinity, his ability, everything had become useless. At dawn, he made a decision. He told Sarah, "I am going to the village. Our uncle has a small piece of land. Maybe I can find some work there. It's better to do something than to sit here starving." A wave of pain surged through Sarah's heart. The village, where life had every convenience in the city, what would it be like in the village? But she understood Ahmed's helplessness. "You go, God will be kind. We will be patient here." Ahmed left for the village. His departure made things even heavier at home. Sarah had to take on the responsibility of the children alone. She sewed from morning till evening. Her eyes started hurting, and her back ached. But she knew she couldn't lose courage. In the village, Ahmed initially faced great difficulty. He was a city person and had no experience in farming. His uncle took him under his wing, and slowly he began to help with farming work. His body ached from the day-long labor, working in the sun and soil, but a hope awakened in his heart. He could become the support for his family through his hard work. Several months passed. Ahmed sent some money from the village every month, which was little but meant a lot to Sarah. Sarah used that money to pay Fatima's school fees and the house rent. The children's education had resumed. Ahmed was also working tirelessly day and night. He had thought that as soon as the harvest was good, he would return. One day, Ahmed called Sarah, his voice shining with a new light. "Sarah, this time the harvest is very good. Much more than expected. I'm coming back in a few days." Tears of joy streamed down Sarah's eyes. "Really? Alhamdulillah. I'll tell the children. How happy they'll be." When Ahmed returned a few days later, he was not the same tired man he had been. His face bore the glow of hard work, and there was a new sparkle in his eyes. As soon as he arrived, he handed Sarah a bag with new clothes and some toys. Fatima and Ali jumped with joy. They were so happy to see their father, as if Eid had arrived. Ahmed now decided to start a small business. With the money he had saved, he rented a small shop and started stocking groceries. There were difficulties in the beginning, but Ahmed did not lose heart. Sarah also began sitting at the shop with him. The children would come to the shop after school and spend time with their parents. Within a year, their small shop took off. Ahmed took another shop and started a clothing business there. Their lives were slowly getting back on track. Now they didn't have to depend on the mercy of any factory owner. They were their own masters. One evening, as the children were studying and Sarah was making tea, Ahmed sat on the cot and looked out the window. The same street lamp was flickering in the alley, but now the alley didn't seem sad to him. This alley had taught them a lot. He looked at Sarah, who was coming towards him with a cup of tea. There was love and serenity in her eyes. "Sarah," he said softly, "Allah has brought us out of a great trial." Sarah smiled. "Yes, and he also gave us courage." Ahmed looked at Fatima and Ali, who were studying and laughing. He realized that the greatest lesson in life is that difficulties come, but if a person does not lose courage and continues to work hard, then after every dark night, morning surely comes. This was not just a story, it was the reality of their lives, a reality that taught them to stand on their own feet.